morning adventurers. We just left Columbia, Missouri. We are headed to Texas, our actual hometown of Wichita Falls for the first time, because our registration on our car is expiring at the end of the month, and so we have to go sort that.
Yeah, and this was kind of last minute. Like, we didn't know we were gonna have to do this.
Yeah, we were gonna just like let the registration lapse and like just leave it, but then we were like, well, we kind of need the car sometimes. Yeah,
we're gonna need it. There's still a lot of life left in this car. I think it's got like 163,000 miles on it, so that's kind of a lot, but it's still purring like a kitten.
Oh, it's more like a cranky old kitten.
Exactly. So since today is mostly going to be just a lot of us driving down to Texas as quickly as possible, we figured we'd do another car Q&A video. On our last video, we asked you guys to leave questions in the comments, and I think that's an ongoing thing that we're going to do. When we do these QA videos, we'll just ask you guys, we'll answer a few questions, then we'll ask you guys if you have any other questions, leave them in the comment section below, and then in our next video, we'll answer those.
Let's do it. First question, sir.
This question is from Diff Mull. What everyday features that you observed on your travels would you like to see adopted in the USA? Which I thought this was a really good question, because it's a thing we talk about a lot when we're traveling. What would you say?
I would love to see European quality coffee in more places than the US.
You can find good coffee in the US, but I feel like it's more, maybe it's just because the US is so big, but it's more spread out, or there's just so much Starbucks and chains like that it's a little bit harder to find the really quality, smaller coffee shops.
Maybe also like military time.
Oh,
do they refer to it? We refer
like
to
international time.
Yeah, international time.
Yeah,
it'd be pretty helpful if we adopted that.
Yeah, probably, because it makes it a little bit awkward when you're traveling in countries where they're using international time. My pick would probably be tipping. I always get frustrated because obviously in the USA or in North America in general, tipping is very customary, but then when you go over to Europe, it's very rare that tipping is customary, and in a lot of other places in the world. So it's just a real culture shock when we spend a lot of time in Europe and we save so much money because the price tags might sometimes be higher, but you're not paying the extra 20% for tipping. But then we come back here and you have to tip pretty much everywhere you go, every time you go out to eat.
Yeah. And we understand that like waiters and waitresses and bartenders don't get paid usually what they do in Europe.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like that. But
yeah, so you know, of course we tip when we're here, but it's just I wish it wasn't like that here. I like it. I like the European system.
Yeah, it is weird here. You never know with all the taxes. You never know what you're gonna pay until you get up there.
Yeah, in most countries in Europe, when you see a price, that's what you pay exactly. Whereas, and they always say like it's so weird when they come to the U.S. you never know exactly what you're gonna pay. Yeah. And I never really thought about that until I traveled outside the U.S. and it's a little strange. Next up is from Sign Duo. Please do a video about how you grew so fast. We kind of touched on this a little bit in our last video. We get a lot of questions about how we grew our channel. You know, when January started, we had about 2,500 subscribers. Since then, we've just passed 20,000 subscribers. So
we just passed 20,500.
Yeah,
I think
I could do a whole video about how we grew our channel, but rather than spend too much time on that, we actually wrote an ebook about this. We have an ebook that's like, you know, 90 pages long that explains every single thing that we did to grow our channel the way that we've done.
Mostly this guy wrote it.
Yeah, I wrote most of it, but all the tips are in there, and you guys can download that right now if you're so inclined, if you want to learn exactly how we grew our channel. I'll put a discount code or something in the description so you can get it for super cheap, just for you guys since you're so awesome.
It was basically just being very scrappy and strategic and
finding out what works and then trying to replicate that.
With a little bit of YouTube luck.
Yeah, and you know, you got to learn all about SEO, and you got to learn about there's little things you can do to your channel right now that will make a difference within the next couple of weeks. Like you change it now, over the course of a couple of weeks, you'll see increases in views and subscribers on your channel. And all that stuff is covered in the book, so you can get that with the link in the description.
And that's the Beeler guarantee.
Okay, next question from Mr. Paul Helms. How do you fund your travels? This is another question that we get a lot. We figured this is a good question to do again because we have a lot of new subscribers. I've worked in the tech industry for like 12 years now, so I've on and off done freelance work. So when we started to travel, I just decided I'd just try to drum up more freelance contracts, mostly UI design, development, writing about technical topics and things like that. So that's what I've been doing primarily to fund a lot of our travels. You know, obviously we're trying to make this self-sustaining so that I don't have to work on all that other stuff. I'd rather work on this channel.
Yeah.
So, you know, we started our Patreon which we mentioned in a couple videos ago. And, you know, that gives us a little bit of money, but it's like every little bit helps. And I think our Patreon's over like $100 a month now. So at the very least, it covers a lot of our software costs.
Yes.
So that helps.
Yes.
YouTube ad revenue pays a little bit.
But then more recently, we have been working really hard to get partnerships with people so that they let us stay, and in return, you know, like we'll link to their
basically
their
promote their
promote
service, their place, their city,
whatever
like
it is.
that.
It's really helped us, you know, get some great stays, check out some really cool areas.
When we went to Mexico, is a perfect example. We partnered with a few different companies when we went down there, and it made the whole thing so much more affordable and allowed us to travel more broadly and go to places we might not have been able to go to.
Same with Cuba. Our friend Tall got us partnered up with a guy there that had an Airbnb. We got to go on that amazing horseback ride and stay with him and show off a really small city that otherwise we would have never even known about, you know?
She's been spending a lot of time doing that, and that actually supplements a lot of income. One of our biggest expenses is just places to stay, Airbnbs primarily.
The travel is,
the travel, So when you partner with a company, they might pay for the travel to the location, they might pay for activities when you're there and accommodations. And if you get all that covered, then we don't have to bring in so much money on the work that I do.
Right.
Which is a way that this thing is starting to kind of pay for itself.
And it means that we can eat a lot more things on the road.
That's true. By the way, if you guys are interested in our Patreon, we have a bunch of really cool perks on there. We mentioned this in our last video, but it's like we have some hidden vlogs that are vlogs we did when we first started our channel that were just kind of a test run. Super embarrassing, but if you want to see like how this all really started, I can't remember which tier it is, but one of those tiers unlocks all those videos. We also have a tier where we send postcards from locations that we go to and a bunch of other stuff, so check those out and you can support us that way if you'd like to. We've just now made it to Kansas City, Missouri, so we're gonna take a little break from the Q&A. We're gonna grab a little bite to eat. We found a little sandwich shop called The Filling Station that got really great reviews. Of course, Kansas City is known for amazing barbecue, but I feel like we've been eating a ton of barbecue lately, so we're gonna stick with something different.
Something bad happened.
What happened? Oh no, they put onions in it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good.
Uh-oh.
Man, you guys, I ordered this amazing tuna wrap, but they put little onions in there. I don't know, you guys might already know this about me, but I absolutely hate onions.
Maybe I can pick it out.
How's it going, doctor?
I think he'll survive. I think we're onion free. All right, I destroyed my whole wrap. This sucks. It was so beautiful.
It was.
I destroyed it.
I'm sorry.
Oh God. So we decided to each split the wrap. Mine's all destroyed, but that's what it did look like, and it looks really delicious. And we got a little roasted red pepper soup in these little cups.
Perfect for a little
dip-a-doo. Guys, that tuna wrap was excellent. It had like mustard mixed in there, like legit, like Dijon, which I never really had mustard with tuna before, but that was pretty dang good.
It was delicious. Yeah, I just had a boring old veggie wrap.
Oh yeah, I thought she got the tuna, but she didn't actually.
I didn't. I missed out, but that's okay.
All right, we are back on the road, back at the Q&A. Next question is from Nikachu. What is your secret to a happy marriage and to staying young?
Oh.
Well, I don't know if there's any secret to staying young, because we're not staying young. We might look young, but we're getting older just like everybody else.
Getting older. Probably with staying young. I think just trying to have a life that's where the least amount of stress is possible and where you're actively working towards making yourself happy.
Yeah, like having a goal that you work towards, no matter what it is. Like you have to have that thing that you're always like trying to accomplish. At least that's what's helped for us.
Yeah, because I feel like, you know, just stress if you're like doing a job you hate or I don't know, just not in a great place, it really takes a toll on your body, which
and there's good stress and there's bad stress. Like traveling to me is good stress because it's an adventure and it's fun and you always feel like you're furthering yourself.
Yeah.
But the stress of just like being in a dead-end job or a job you don't like or having a situation at home that you're not happy with, that kind of stuff will really take its toll on you, and I think you see it on people's faces, you know, when they live a life like that.
And then as far as the marriage, I think just finding someone you like and like being around.
Like her.
I think like maybe we are weirdos, but we can spend all day, every day together and not hate each other. And I think
it's pretty rare that we like crave a moment part.
Yeah.
Which, you know, it's not like that's a prerequisite to a happy marriage, but
No, but that's
it's just
what works for us. I
yeah,
guess,
because I think a lot of couples, they get on each other's nerves pretty quick. And there's a recipe for that. I think not being short with the other person and being patient, which is something we've had to learn over the years, but when you're traveling especially, you can't jump on someone for every little thing that they do. You have to be able to just say like, oh yeah, it's no big deal, put it out of your mind and not think about it. Next up, Sancho G says, why don't you get sensible haircut? Your side fringe thing is not good.
Aww.
Well, Sancho, I assume that question is for me. Yeah, I think when I'm traveling, this thing I got going on here, it gets pretty out of control pretty quick. Right now it's like super long, but I'm pretty particular about where I go to get my hair cut. I can't just go to any place. So usually I wait till we go back to Texas because there's a specific place I go to there. But I'm gonna try to get it cut a lot shorter, you know, because obviously I want it shorter because I hate this thing being in my face all the time.
Yeah.
But last time I got the haircut, you know, he didn't cut it as short as I thought he did. So it's kind of grown out a little too quick because I just got a haircut like a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
But since you're so interested in my hair, I'm going to get a haircut when we're down in Texas, or at least I'm gonna try to. All right, last question. I thought this was a good one to include because a lot of people ask this. Do you buy phone plans or leave your phones at home and just rely on Wi-Fi? Well, when we first started traveling, we did the Wi-Fi thing, right? A lot of people do that where they just, you know, they don't have data until they get on a Wi-Fi spot at a coffee shop or at their Airbnb or whatever.
Yeah, but then we found a really super awesome plan through T-Mobile. Well, I guess it's awesome because it works in 250 countries.
Yeah, pretty much any country except Cuba so far.
Oh yeah, except for Cuba.
It's going to give you data.
Yeah, but it's not the greatest in the States, we found, which is really unfortunate. So when we're back home, it's really hard to find reliable service. And then on the road, sometimes it's not that fast, but it's been good enough for us, and it's only, what, $50 a month? And
yeah, $50 a month per line.
Per line, yeah.
So $100 total for 2 lines.
Yeah.
I think it's called the T-Mobile Simple Choice plan or something like that.
Yeah. Which if you're planning on traveling, you can just get one plan for, you know, I guess you both.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to save money, you can just share one phone as well. We find that we go to so many countries when we travel that trying to get a SIM card in each country, I think we're just going to lose money that way because you have to buy the SIM card, you don't use all the data, and then you have to buy a new one when you get to a new country, and we have to buy double because it's 2 of us.
Yeah.
So this is just, it's taken away that entire headache just getting an international plan. Well, that's the Q&A. If you guys have any, like we said, any questions that we haven't gotten to or that are on your mind, especially if you're a new subscriber of ours, leave a comment below and leave us a question, and we'll get to it next time.
Oh yeah, and I guess that's it for us.
I think we're just gonna sit in this car for the next 8 hours and make our way down to Texas.
Keep on driving. Bye, adventurers.
We'll see you on the road.